DC here. Hi guys and gals. Sunday morning and it's coffee vlog. Hope you're well. It's kind of maybe a bit later than I do sometimes. It's 9:10 and temperature outside is in the single digits in the Celsius range. What are we up to now? Oh, it's 8. I think it was 6 when I got up. Yeah, so it's been a quiet Sunday morning up to now. I've been doing well, you know my routine by now. I mean, I I did a few readings, Bible readings, and then I actually went into my Spanish course, and that's kind of funny. I'm doing with Duolingo, which is a pretty cool app actually. But like many of these apps, it would prefer that you took the pay version, which I'm not. Actually, I'm taking the one with the ads, which can be annoying, but is very doable. What I mean by that is that there's not actually so many ads. There's a few, but the thing is that you can get around it actually quite easily at times, because sometimes as soon as they've done a certain amount, a part of the ad, you can skip. It's a bit like, when you have, if you're watching YouTube videos and all of a sudden, actually it's the same ads very often. So that's quite amusing. So, yeah, moving along. It's quite amusing in a way because there's different modules, and but what there is there's like there's leagues, and I say leagues because you get promoted every week if you want, and it's all a big it's all a big fake to just motivate you. What I mean by that is that if you're in the Emerald League or the Ruby League or whatever else they want to call it, you have exactly the same exercises. You don't have anything different. You could even be demoted, and the next week you will have exactly the same, because every week you start afresh. So it's all tricks, like motivational tricks. And right now I'm kind of amused because I'm right now in the Emerald League, and I'm in the top 7 right now. I'm actually 3rd. No way I can get 2nd or 1st because those people have so many points. I mean, I don't know what they've done, if they've slept all night doing exercise. Instead of sleeping, I mean, if they did exercises. But why I say I'm 3rd is amusing because there's another guy or girl, I don't know. We get a notice if we fall down from a category. And I've been noticing that if I'm like 1 point ahead of them, comes right off and starts doing exercises. So I'm being a bit mean. And there's the motivational thing, I guess. Is I just sometimes do just enough exercises to go ahead of the person. And then the person comes back and does some more. And then I wait a while. I might do it later on in the day or something. And I notice when the person stops. And then I come and do a few more. And then the person starts over again. So yesterday, around 11, I guess the person probably, I don't know where the person is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. You can make friends in this thing, but who does? I mean, I don't do that. And I went and put 3 points in front of the person. And I guess the person must have been in bed, because when I got up this morning, the person didn't notice. Anyway, it's just kind of amusing, prodding the person on. And I wonder if the person's not saying the same thing about me. I'm going to prod him on. That could be. But then he must say he doesn't jump into it right off, because I've noticed as soon as I do something, normally, immediately the person jumps and prods it on. But anyway, whatever. I like the Duolingo though, because it has well, one of the modules is stories, where there's also a conversational part. The other one is actually so little read and talk. Then there's another one where there's like really more classical lessons, and you do it all. It's really good if you have an iPad, actually, because you can do it wherever you want. And so the more classical lessons, you know, where you have questions and answers and translations and stuff like that. And then there's the other ones, which is really, you've got a couple that is going around, right now they're going around Mexico City, and they're telling us how to get around certain situations, but it's kind of real time, so to say, real time, acted, but, and that's cool. And they've got a podcast where they have stories, and it's in a intermediate level, but the person comes and chimes in, and so you actually manage to follow the story. So I'm really quite amused. Am I progressing? I'm certainly progressing. Would I be able to do something in a Spanish milieu? Probably not. But I mean, there's all this vocabulary that's coming in and the situation, so it's fun. It's one could almost say it passes the time. No, it's part of my retirement goals. Yeah, and it's quite amusing, I find, nevertheless. Was it this week? Yeah, it was actually. I saw something. It was the taxi vlog actually from Andy, where he was talking again, like maybe people are coming back on the job, and there'd be more taxi drivers and so on. And it's amusing how, or it's actually, I should say, not amusing, to see how this is a worldwide phenomenon. If we take the case of the taxi drivers, we noticed it in Ireland. I don't take the taxi here, extremely rarely, so I can't say very much about what's going on over here. But when I'm in Ireland, we do take it quite a bit, and it was the same type of discussion. You know, ever since the pandemic, there's been less drivers, and they're not always coming back. So, you know, where you used to be able to get a taxi in a few minutes, now you might actually wait an hour. Stuff like that, and depending on the days. So it was an interesting discussion. But overall, in many fields, people are shifting from one type of employment to the other. I mean, over here, for example, health workers, there's a lot that have left their jobs because they've just been burnt out, and they're just going into completely other fields. And you know, it's like, okay, what's happened? What is happening? Because I've noticed that in other professions, there just seems to be all over Switzerland here, and I hear about the stories in Canada and the States. There's just not enough workers, and 2 years ago there was, or whatever. So I don't know what's going on. In the younger generation over here, what I've noticed in the people where I was working, in the younger ones, nobody seemed to want to work 100%, so a full-time job anymore. There were couples, they'd like to work, both of them, 80 or 60%. So like 3-day weeks or 4-day weeks. And they say, oh, it's for our work-life balance and this and that. And I wonder about that. You know why I say I wonder about that? It's because when I used to be in the farm industry, and that's a few years back, but when we would employ people, we actually liked to have people with 80%, so a 4-day week, because we would give them the full-time job, basically a 100% job with 80% pay. And I don't know if the people realize that actually, but they're being taken for a ride. Or in other words, a 4-day job is going to give you 4 days pay and 5 days work. I mean, that you have to pack into that. So I don't know. Make what you want of it, but I don't know who's getting squeezed and who's getting taken and all of that. What do you think about that? Anyway, I'm seeing the time, and I'm going to stop here. So take care, everybody. DC signing off, and I'm going to enjoy my coffee. Bye-bye.